573 seated press. There's no context for this, Scott.
It's out of control.
Julius Maddox, 705 pounds. Incline bench press fail. Scott, this doesn't hurt anyone, does it? Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength. I am a longtime professor of exercise and sports science, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I have competed in powerlifting before. It was a long time ago. I compete in bodybuilding nowadays, and I know a good bench presser when I sees me one, I tell you. What, brother? And today, our special virtual guest, not even person we talk about behind their back, is Mr. Julius Maddox, who happens to be the human who has bench pressed the most weight with his own two hands that anyone has ever pressed at an astounding gazillion pounds. Really, it's 782 pounds. We're going to take a look at that video. We're going to hear him talk about training. It's going to be awesome. And when I said we're talking behind his back, he doesn't know about this. So don't tell him. He's a very, very large. I would be fearing for my safety. Although I will say I feel quite safe talking behind his back because there's like abandoned planets and space stations back here. Do you guys see how awesome his back is? It's enormous. Oh, it's huge. 3, 2, 1. Huge. Let me really quickly put into perspective what is happening. Every single video you have ever seen of a weight this heavy and above is done with powerlifting equipment, special supportive shirts. It's called a shirt, but it's really this whole technical thing that have essentially huge rubber band stretchy material in them that help you on the way down and help you on the way up and add hundreds of pounds to your bench press. The number of people that you have ever seen bench press this much weight with just a singlet and a t-shirt on is precisely 0, because Julius Maddox is the strongest bench presser of all time. But I'm not done. It's not that the guy behind him is doing 781 and that 5 people last year did 780 pounds. No, not even close. There are a handful of people on this earth, and I mean like in one hand, that have ever benched over 700 raw. Ever. The number of people who can bench reliably in competition 600 plus raw is a handful of people. A few dozen people might be able to do that reliably within any given 1 year time frame. At his level in the high 700s, Julius Maddox is all by himself. This is a generational talent, plain and simple. Let's watch him work. Hey, and that's our friend Andy doing the handoff. Scott, you notice that?
Yeah. About that huge Asian guy.
That huge Asian guy on Instagram. He really is that huge Asian guy. And he is enormous and strong. But compared to Julius Maddox, a lot of people end up looking quite normal. By the way, for the record, Andy's like 270. So how come he doesn't look 270? Because Julius Maddox. So Scott, do we know how much he weighs? It's like
420, 430.
420, 430. A real grown man's weight. Or what we also call the average Icelander. Christ, that commanding lockout. None of this like, okay, take it, just boom, both fucking elbows. I mean, to say that you don't see this regularly, I mean, you don't see this ever is what I'm trying to say. Out of this world. 573 seated press. There's no context for this, Scott.
It's out of control.
Oh, Russ Ronnie.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, man.
Cameo.
You better impress me, motherfucker. 533 pounds. Now, Scott, I forget. How many Miss Olympias have I won? Was it 7? No, that was Arnold. No, it wouldn't have been 7. It was 8. Motherfucker. Do you think Ronnie would ever swear like that, Scott? He's a good person, isn't he?
I've never heard him swear in my life.
Yeah. My impression of Ronnie is a much worse person than Ronnie, because I'm a worse person than Ronnie. Let's just see this. Ah! Scott, he would touch his chin, right?
Yeah.
Can we get another look at that really quick?
Under his chin.
Chin level.
There you go.
Sure, I would be more impressed technically if he descended all the way to touching his clavicles, or at least the intraterminal area.
Nuts. This is nuts. And another thing I want you guys to take a look at. The amount of muscle size in his triceps, biceps, shoulders, and especially pecs. And not the width necessarily, but the thickness. Scott, look at his upper pecs and tell me a bullet would go through that if you shot him.
No, he's thick boy.
Holy shit. That's what with huge bench pressures you often see is the thickness front to back of their pecs is totally mind-boggling different level, proving the point that contractile tissue is what lifts weights, muscles lift weights. And if you want to be a big boy and lift big weights, you got to eat big, you got to train big, and you got to put on some serious size. You do not get to benching 700 pounds, sure shit, not damn near 800 pounds by being small.
Oh, busted. Little cookie on the way to the gym.
I seen it all, motherfucker. I'm done. All right. That don't impress me. Back in 2003, Mr. Limp, I'm done. 800 pounds. Okay, seriously. Guys, I have a confession. I have watched so many Ronnie Coleman memes of his various gym sayings. I have almost nothing in my head other than that. So, like, yeah, buddy, time to bleed. Time to show God how it's gonna be done. Got away from me, like a big old fish. All that never leaves my head. There is only one king, and his name is Ronnie. Julius Maddox, 705 pounds, incline bench press fail. Time to show God how it's gonna be done. Scott, this doesn't hurt anyone, does it? Yep. So you guys can see the injury occurred on the descent. That is scary as fuck. That is why side spotting, by the way, is way better than just having one spotter, because at least that guy can start to push the weight off. When we look at Julius Maddox doing 705 pounds in the incline and catching an injury just barely on the way down, I might add, to you this might seem insane. Like, how the but he benched like damn near 800. How is he getting hurt on one rep? Because it's 705 pounds. Shit bees different. That don't impress me. Oh, dude, that guy, Scott, the guy in the blue shirt with, I must admit, enormous arms. He's like, all right, I got this. And then he's like, wait a minute. This is 330 pounds that I'm trying to curl out of the way. and look at the guy who's sumo deadlifting on the other end there. The guy in the black shirt, he's like, look at his face. He's like, I don't know if we're going to save Julius's leg from this.
Yeah, so there, can you see what happened?
The accident happened in 2022. MRI showed a tear of
3 bands?
3 bands in his rotator and left bicep. Now he's fully recovered. I'll say that's one of the worst shit can happen to you in the bench press. If it's a fully avulsed pec tendon, you're almost certainly never, in the modern times, futuristic bullshit aside, you're not going to bench again heavy. It's not going to happen. Biceps tendons can be repaired, and they're only synergistic stabilizers in this movement. They're not actively generating a ton of force to contribute to the movement, so that's okay. Rotator cuff, that kind of stuff can heal, although it can feel really wacky for a while. Oh my God, this sucks. Injuries suck. Oh, thanks. That nice young lady just did it with one hand. All right. Let's look at more stuff.
What's up, man? I was wondering, how much are you weighing in nowadays?
I'm at about roughly between 430, 424, somewhere between, you know.
How tall?
6'3" and a half.
Could we check it?
Yeah.
No, motherfucker, get out of my face. Check this. And then he's like, check what? And you just stand there all tough. Scott, do you think that would work?
I mean, if you're Julius's size, yes.
What
What are these going to do?
Throw away your notepad and your Excel sheets. The RP Hypertrophy app has all of your workouts displayed in one place with guided videos on exercise techniques and a program that evolves to better suit your needs the longer you use the app. All you have to do is follow the plan right on your phone and get the gains. Click on the link in the description of this video to get started. If you're my size, he's like, no, you're going to do it. I'm like, okay, mister, you seem quite large.
Let's do it. About 6'4" in shoes.
Right on the money. Are we not?
I don't know if this is gonna work, but it might break it.
Work. That is not gonna work.
Let's see if it does.
I'm gonna break this thing.
Hey,
Yeah, that's good. Good enough.
So this size clip, we already talked about his size, but this is very important to set up the next clip.
Okay.
About what's to happen.
Okay, 430-ish pounds.
Okay. Our rusty giant. What's going on?
This is a meeting, huh?
Yep, keep going.
My brother. 700 pounds. Thank you. Big hand. Look at these hands.
yeah.
Good job.
Ah!
What?
Folks, if you haven't seen our Andrei Smayev video, we have one. It's right here. Give it a click. The Russians always come up with some freaky shit. I got the low end of that gene pool. Scott, his forefinger looks like a banana.
It looks like you're holding like your grandma's hand or something.
Yes.
It's like, what? And
Yes.
Julius is 6'4". Like, what?
Oh God, that's not his forefinger, Scott. That's his middle finger.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You can just see
Wow.
his forefinger just poking out a little.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild. That's insane. All right.
We're gonna work up to about 700 pounds for some reps. Hopefully we hit a PR today.
Hey, people that don't warm up, you're no better than Julius Maddox, and he starts with the bar. That is my entire argument. Go warm up. Whoa, Scott, is this accessory work or is he just warming up still?
Still warm up.
Very cool. So here's the thing, guys. Warm-ups escalate potentially exponentially, definitely at least linearly with how much weight you're lifting. Here's what I mean by that. If you're gonna curl the 15s, what you might do is nothing at all and just start curling the 15s. What you might do is curl the 15s for 5, rack, little bicep stretch, little moving around, and then hit it for, sets of 10, sets of 15, whatever you're gonna. Or you might just like lift the 2.5s or even the 5s for a few reps of just kind of moving around, rest a little bit, hit the 15s, and then go. When you are benching close to 700 pounds, there may be a sum total of like 10 warm-up sets to get you there. It might be some stuff with dumbbells, might be some mobilization drills, might be starting at the bar and adding a plate for a rep or two each time, all the way up to 675. God knows. The amount of warming up physically, tissue-wise, you have to do when you're enormous is bigger. The amount of potentiation of waking up your nervous system you need for 1 rep max lifts is all of it. So you can't scrape anything by. And the safety margin you get off of better technique and the more lifting margin, of course, and off of the fact that you're physically warmer and your tissues are more pliable is enormous and worth every single thing. So if you're looking at this like, dude, this guy's gonna be warming up forever, that's true. You don't need to do that if you're deadlifting 315. If you're deadlifting 315, pull 135 for a set of 10, pull 225 for a set of 5, put 315 on, do it for a single or a double, leave it alone, do rest 2 or 3 minutes, then, put on your Versa grips, get in there and just start fucking manhandling it for whatever set of 8 or 10 that you wanted to do. That's totally cool. But if you're benching 700 pounds, you're going to be in the gym for a while just to get to benching 700 pounds. I used to do a lot of training with Mr. Chad Wesley Smith. He's one of the greatest powerlifters of our modern era. And I watched him work up to 700 plus for reps in the squat on his way to squatting, I think 990 at a meet. And I swear to God, I had done half of my leg workout. It was 45 minutes into Chad's workout when he finally did his last warm-up set before the actual squat sets had begun. 45-minute warm-up. Guys, he didn't do any kind of weird mobilization or anything. He could have, and that would have been totally fine, because at that level, your body needs what it needs. He just hung out in the power rack and put one plate on a side, squatted it, rested for a while. His thing is, relative to other big powerlifters, and Chad at the time weighed about 350 pounds, Chad is actually really high work capacity and moves fast. A lot of other guys move way slower. There's a thing in powerlifting where you will do 1.5 hours of warm-up plus 1 or 2 or 3 attempts at a heavy lift. And then the rest of the 30 minutes that you're at the gym for that sum total of 2 hours, you do like a couple sets of 10 and accessory work. And that's all. Warming up is incredibly important the heavier you go, period. Folks, back to the video in just a second, but if you want a longer, less edited, more perverse version of this video, tons of awesome extras, like in the gym training footage of myself and Jared Feather, IFB Pro, you can find it in our member section, which is just a click away. All right, back to the video. It's so odd, Scott, to see 225 move like the bar in the bench press. That's weird. That's weird. Do we have any videos of him doing 225 for reps?
No, I don't know if you noticed at the top of that, it was actually leaving his hand. Did you see that?
No, can we go back? Oops.
You can hear it clink.
I love it. Okay, so now at 315, you guys will notice he starts to incorporate leg drive. Leg drive is a big part of competition benching, because what it allows you to do is to start, you basically push a pulse of energy using your legs, your glutes, your quads, and you push into the ground. And the way physics works with every action as an equal and opposite reaction is you get a roughly equivalent pulse of energy back up through your body. Like the reason you jump is you push into the ground and the ground pushes back and then you jump, right? So you push into the ground at precisely the time that the pulse is timed to travel through up your knees, through your quads, up through your belly, and the pulse of force ends up at the same time at your chest level as the bar is leaving your chest. So what ends up happening is a lot of that energy, not all of it, but some of that energy that you pushed into the ground with leg drive is converted into vertical force off of your chest. So leg drive bounces the bar, pushes the bar, launches the bar off of your chest. That plus your triceps, front delts, and chest is where most of bench pressing force comes from. Here's the thing, probably 85, 90% roughly offhand of the force comes from your pushing muscles, chest, shoulders, triceps. Something like 5, and in some really, really elite people that have really worked out a leg drive, 15%, 5 to 15% of the force to have a completed bench comes from leg drive. Leg drive is big. And so at Julius's level, if he didn't use leg drive, he might be good for in excess of 600 pounds. He might even be good for damn near 700, but 782 is not going to happen for him unless he uses leg drive. And the best way to use leg drive to develop strong leg drive is, remember, he's a giant person whose legs are plenty strong enough. No doubt without training legs, he could leg press 1,500 pounds for reps, no big deal. He has to walk around at 424. His legs are strong as And it's not a max effort push because it would slide you across the bench and everything would go straight to hell. It's a little bit of a pulse. So he's more than strong enough. The thing with leg drive is technique. You have to practice light benches, moderate benches, and heavy benches with leg drive to get the timing right and to get that motion right. And if you don't practice constantly for weeks and weeks and weeks and arguably months and years, you won't get as much leg drive to convert into actual pounds on the bar. Me personally, I barely know how to use leg drive. Back when I was a competitive powerlifter, I just did static benching. I never used leg drive in my fucking life. When I transitioned to bodybuilding, it didn't hurt because I was just like, well, that's the same thing except for more reps. But if I was going to try to be the best bench presser that I could, leg drive is something I'd have to master, and there's no way to master it without practicing it a lot. So you'll notice am I hallucinating or is this 405? Yeah, it sure shit is.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So you think 405 is so far below his max? Like this is basically like a little bit over 50% of his 1 rep max. So why the fuck is he using leg drive? Like really using leg drive 405? Yes, because he's practicing for using leg drive for 500, 600, 700, and damn near 800 pounds.
Easy.
Scott, I want a neck like that. What do I have to do to
Good
get
luck.
a neck like that? That don't impress me. If you were like, hey, Mike, go choke him out, I'd be like, but, huh. Christ. You guys can see that hole. You can see the pulse travel through his body and end up in the bar. I love it.
585.
585.
Felt a little heavy.
Scott, you and I are staring at this through like 8 different monitors and like 2 years of time separation. It still freaks me out.
Yeah. I mean, when did you ever go to the gym and see 5 guys spotting a bench press?
To paraphrase Nate Diaz, you don't. Or if it's like some TikToker and it's just f***ery and that's not spotting, there's just a bunch of dudes around. This is the opposite of that. Ooh. Ah! Oh my God! Scott, at what point do you bench 700 for a rep and you're like, I can keep going?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And if you're an onlooker to this, like it looks like a pretty empty gym here, but if you're like looking on from the side, you're going to be like, oh my God, this guy's going to 1 rep max. As soon as he hits that 2nd rep and then that 3rd, I think that's like that, what's that guy that did all the clock stuff, the melting clocks? Salvador Dali.
Painter, yeah.
That's when your vision turns into a Salvador Dali painting and everything just slips out. You're like, I don't understand. How is this happening?
Here we're doing isometric presses. We're about 5 or 6 weeks out from a meet. So basically, you are pressing against for something that you cannot move. And behind that is you're getting the most muscle recruitment as possible. We want to generate the most motor units we can. And we do that by pressing against the pins. You place a bench in a rack, you set the pins about 3 to 4 inches from lockout. You press against the pins, rest for about 3 or 4 minutes, repeat about 3 or 4 times. If you want to increase your bench press, incorporate these. This is an all-out, give it all you got type of exercise. And if you implement it right, like you should literally leave the gym extremely fatigued and be sore for days after, if it's done right.
Scott, those poor goddamn pins. Like, excuse me, sir, you're bending our equipment. He's like, I didn't leave a bunch of weight on there. Like, you're strong enough to bend it with a bar. Like, oh, I'm sorry. This is wild. Pin presses in this fashion absolutely do work. The real cool story here is the risk to you injury-wise from your own muscles pulling apart under the load is there. The risk of the weight hurting you is fucking zero because 45 pounds under, and Julius Maddox lost his arms, he could still bench 45 pounds. So the good news is it's really easy to set up. It's really, really safe. And it gives you an opportunity to just fucking work that lockout. Now you can do it at the bottom too. Work that maximum attempt to generate as much force as possible without any of the downsides and risks, and honestly with zero spotters. So if you're a person that's training by themselves and it's kind of like a little shaky setup, you can do reps on your own with some good safety supports. You can do sets of 2 or 3 on your own, but maybe unracking for singles is something you only like to do on occasion when you have a spotter. You can still do high-level neurological work. Julius Maddox is talking about motor units, is completely correct there. You can recruit the highest threshold motor units, synergize and synchronize your whole nervous system to press as much as possible for 6 seconds at a time, which is the total length of time you would be moving in a 1 rep max attempt. That will have an effect. The only thing I have to say is this fatigues your nervous system like crazy, the nervous system including your brain, because your brain's like, dude, I'm trying my hardest for maybe, 18 total seconds in a workout. Guys, that's a lot. true max muscle recruitment is an incredibly fatiguing process. So be careful as to how you dose this. Start with just a rep here and there every few weeks, and maybe increase it if it's something that seems to be benefiting you. And this is also a thing that transfers its training most when you're closer to a competition. Like Julius said, 5 or 6 weeks out, this is the time to incorporate that. Careful with the dosing. You don't want to do too much of that and actually have your bench press go down because you have too much fatigue. But in a right balance of bench pressing and doing pin presses and things of that nature, your overall stimulus can be amazing. Your fatigue on the joints can be a little bit lower, and thus the total result can be really, really good. That don't impress me. Folks, Julius Maddox, phenomenal to get an insight on his training, phenomenal to see some of his best lifts. This is a generational talent and is the greatest bench presser of all time, out of 10. That's the rating. Look him up. He's got great social media, and honestly, he seems like a very nice man. But if I saw him in the street, I would run and cry because he's scary, and that's exactly what you get for benching damn near 800 pounds. Folks, I've been Dr. Mike. Julius Maddox, you're the man, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, that was super fun, you guys. We got bigger chests. We benched more. We woke up and realized it was all a dream, and Julius Maddox did it all by himself. If you want to see some other shit that you can do by yourself or with a friend, this video right here might have the hookup. See you guys next time.